Well, hello there. It's been a while, but somebody in the comment section said that I shouldn't rush these, that I should enjoy these as chocolate. You don't know how I eat my chocolate. I can easily eat like half of the packaging of the 100% dark chocolate with no sugar added. Easy. But I try to not eat that much at once. So yeah, now that I've grieved my failed House of the Dragon series recording attempt, I can return back to this one. And I guess, well, this is obviously a way higher quality. I just I love dragons. I really wanted to make the House of the Dragons episodes, and I wanted people to enjoy them with me. That didn't happen. Oh well. Now I'm angry. No, I want somebody to get hurt in a TV show. Yeah. Somebody said that previous episode was perhaps the worst out of all seasons of Hannibal, so nowhere to go but up. I'm excited. So yeah, let's watch. Is this Will? Are we okay? Is this a dream or reality? Aha. Yes, the reality it is. Is this his shadow self? Is this Hannibal intruding upon his subconscious? What is this Ravendeer creature? Now I just thought, poor Will. I wonder how fun it was for him to shoot something like this. Yeah, I think that creature has a meaning. Why didn't I think about it before? Something is intruding upon him, and it's getting closer. Is Will gonna do something? It touched him. Police? I'm just sleepwalking, nothing odd here. Still dream, probably.
You lost?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Will Graham.
Do you know where you are, Mr. Graham?
In hell.
Can I sit down? My feet are sore.
Why don't we take you home?
Okay.
If this is reality, I'm extremely concerned.
Are you on any drugs, medication, prescription, or otherwise?
No.
Hannibal is my drug.
Do you have a history of sleepwalking, Mr. Graham?
Nope.
Not even sure if I'm awake now.
Same. I mean, not for me, but for him. Well. Oh boy.
Although I may be, is it safe to assume you're not sleepwalking now?
Will is finally in Hannibal's home. Hannibal has wanted Will here for so long. Is Hannibal in his pajamas? Wow, this is a very intimate encounter. Oh, I'm so concerned and excited. Is this how everybody's first time watching the shows goes? Excited and concerned.
Never apologize for coming to me. Office hours are for patients. My kitchen is always open to friends.
Friends are we now? Basically, Hannibal said, anytime. Please. I want you here. Oh no.
Jack Crawford has gotten your hands very dirty.
I'm forced back into the field.
Manipulated would be the word I'd choose.
I can handle it.
Somewhere between denying horrible events and calling them out lies the truth of psychological trauma.
So I can't handle it. If my body is walking around without my permission, you'd say that's a loss of control.
Wouldn't you?
He's having so much fun.
Sleepwalkers demonstrate a difficulty handling aggression.
Oh.
Are you experiencing difficulty with aggressive feelings?
You said Jack sees me as fine china used for special guests.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you say as what Hannibal described you as? I want Will to look at Hannibal because Hannibal is staring at Will very deliciously. But Will is not looking at him. Will is looking away, and I wish he would look at him. I wonder why he doesn't. I mean, he has some issues with eye contact, but I mean, he has been staring at Hannibal now and then, but he is avoiding him now, and I wonder why. I mean, perhaps when he looks at someone, he sees more than he would like, and that is why he avoids looking at someone. But come on, look at Hannibal. Be terrified. And then be fine with it. I don't know. I would like them to just not talk and just stare at each other. That would be a very, very dense conversation.
You entered into a devil's bargain with Jack Crawford. It takes a toll.
No, Jack isn't the devil.
I am.
When it comes to how far he's willing to push you to get what he wants, he's certainly no saint.
Who are we speaking about here? We almost looked at him, but not exactly. New crimes. I haven't heard that sleepwalking is described as difficulty dealing with aggression. I guess I don't have that. I don't think I've ever sleepwalked. So that raven deer creature that follows Will around is his cravings for aggression, violence, his darkness. It bopped him. It booped him on the hand. I mean, you need to integrate your demons, otherwise you will become a demon. I wonder why Will is not looking at things. I mean, he was hanging out with the creature. Why not, talk to it? See where it's coming from, what it wants. They dissipate if you understand them. Demons, I mean. They're only there to teach you something. So learn. Okay. Yes, this is normal. Somebody has died yet again.
To a John Smith. I'm gonna need you to prepare yourself on this one.
I'm prepared.
Yeah, prepare yourself some more. Local police begged us to take this. Where's your head?
It's on my pillow. I didn't sleep.
That's just the thing to wake you up.
What is it gonna be? Did he remove their faces or something? Their heads were on fire in his vision thing. Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm awake.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. So Jack wasn't lying when he was like, prepare yourself even more. Prepare yourself even harder. You're not prepared for this. I'm a little bit shocked. This is not something I've ever seen before. Not that I look at mutilated corpses on a daily basis or ever. I watched some CSI TV shows, but there's never this. Yeah, and I do not watch horror. I think this is horror TV show. But
No, he isn't mocking them. He's transforming them.
Well, if he saw them as demons, then he made them angels. The killer. I can't look at these close-ups.
Madness slept here last night.
Ew.
He threw up on the nightstand.
Couldn't stomach what he did.
Not nervous. Righteous.
You puke from righteousness? Okay.
He thinks he's elevating them somehow.
Mm-hmm. From demons to angels. Well, you will break soon in Hannibal's arms. Oh God, I cannot look at the corpse thingies.
This is not who you are. This is my gift to you.
Uh-huh.
I allow you to become angel.
Allow. I allow you to become angels. Who are you then? Who eats like this? Hannibal eats like this. Oh, he finally delivered his wife.
A masterpiece foie gras au torchon with a late harvest of the Vidal sauce.
I mean, this is very wonderful, and it's great that somebody has learned this craft and cares about food like this, and there are people who like to enjoy this. I can insert a picture how I just ate ice cream with berries. I just plopped the entire ice cream thing in the bowl. I did have a very pretty fork, though. Dessert fork. I really don't care. I would eat the slush that they ate in Matrix. It has all the nutrients, everything the body needs. Just get it over with. That's how I function. I really try to negate my physical vessel. I just like to perceive interesting things. You know, create something, look at something, listen to something as much as I can. And then Hannibal here is indulging in physicalness, I guess. Foods and the suits and the aesthetic and everything. Weird. But I would let him cook food for me, though. Not human flesh, though, please. That would give me nightmares. You are what you eat.
I was Army. She was NATO staff. All of the Italian men kept calling her Bella, Bella, Bella. Well, I wanted her to be my Bella.
Cute.
Would I be a horrible guest if I skipped this course?
Too rich.
Too cruel.
Phyllis.
Jack.
Cruel?
I have no taste for animal cruelty, which is why I employ an ethical butcher.
Mm-hmm.
No need for unnecessary suffering.
Uh-huh. He chased the kid he ate last episode, or the last before last. That's definitely inflicting suffering. I think Will said that he is a sadist, so he definitely wants them to suffer before he kills them. And also, he cut the lungs out of the girl who's still alive. That's extra suffering, yo. Yo, Hannibal! Why do you lie so openly? He's so
Human
insane.
emotions are a gift from our animal ancestors. Cruelty is a gift humanity has given itself.
Sometimes animals are cruel. Some animals are cruel to other animals. What do you want with
Your
her?
perfume is exquisite. Similar to the aroma on the air just after lightning strikes.
Very appropriate. You just sniff your guest and then describe their scent artistically.
He really is quite charming, isn't he?
Uh-uh.
I first noticed my keen sense of smell when I was a young man.
Mm-hmm.
I was aware one of my teachers had stomach cancer even before he was.
Why is he staring at her so much?
For our next course, roasted pork shank. And I assure you, Bella, it was an especially supercilious pig.
He's starving her on purpose? Goodness.
This is a very specific upsetting.
Yeah. I can't watch
She
this.
lived for about 15 minutes after she was skinned.
Well,
I'm praying to him. They're praying for him.
how?
He's afraid.
Of
What is somebody who could do something like this afraid of?
many things.
Our guy has a brain tumor.
He's afraid to die.
He's afraid of dying in his sleep.
Ah, in sleep specifically.
He's making angels to watch over him.
Reasonable.
Mrs. Crawford? Please come in.
Is she his patient now? But this is conflict of interest. Hannibal is working with Jack, sort of. He can't psychotherapy his wife. I think this is conflict of interest. This is unethical. You can't do this. You can't separate things as a therapist. That is why you're not allowed to, you know, work with your friends or family or friends of family, you know? Why is he staring at her so hungrily? What does he want with her? He's like really interested. He has never met her before, and he's like, his eyes are shining.
Jack sees the world at its worst. Don't need him seeing me at mine.
Why do you resent your husband?
I resent that Jack has too much to worry about. To worry about me.
But that's your choice, not his.
It's hard enough dealing with how I feel about all of this. Don't need to deal with how Jack feels about it.
No, but you know, she said Jack sees the world at its worst, but he is sometimes funny, I think. I think he has said some nice things, and he smiles rarely, but sometimes. It's not all black, but yeah, interesting. So he is too busy to notice her, to care about her. And so she's sort of like coexisting there. Not asking for anything anymore. Nobody is gaining anything from this. It's fascinating that people stay in relationships like this. I mean, I understand you love him, but don't you love yourself as well? And if you loved him, you would tell how you feel. And if there's nothing that can be done, you separate. Everybody deserves something good. If something doesn't work anymore, change it.
Any idea of God comes from many different areas of the mind, working together in unison.
Catch.
But humor can definitely affect brain function.
Mm-hmm.
It's a simple issue of mortality.
Can't beat God, become him?
Not exactly.
You said he was afraid.
He feels abandoned.
Why did they both do?
Ever feel abandoned, Will?
Abandonment requires expectation.
What were your expectations of Jack Crawford and the FBI?
I like how they're talking about the case, and then Hannibal's like, but how about you? And Will's like, ugh. Also, poor Will. I never expected anything, so I'm never let down. He needs a hug from Hannibal. Well, perhaps from somebody not as messed up as Hannibal, but yeah. He'd probably not feel safe anywhere else, though.
Jack hasn't abandoned me.
Jack gave you his word he would protect your headspace.
He can do that.
You trying to alienate me from Jack Crawford?
Mm-hmm.
If he were self-destructive, he wouldn't be so careful.
Unless he's careful about being self-destructive. Making angels to pray over him when he sleeps. Who prays over us when we sleep?
Rocky. Why does Hannibal want to cause... Why does Hannibal want Will to be alienated from Jack? It's not like they're close. They've never been. And Jack cannot offer anything to Will to help him with his mental stuff. He's just using him as a good tool. I think everybody understands this. So why this Jack thing now?
So do you wait until you think I'm asleep before you come to bed?
It's not intentional.
Isn't
Nothing personal.
everything
So
personal?
can we have a conversation, or you want to pretend that everything's all right?
Have a conversation.
Everything is all right.
What's the point of this relationship?
Got some things I have to sort through.
Alone.
Is there anything I can offer you romantically or physically or spiritually that'll help?
Nope.
I like the gesture.
So as your husband, what I can do for you
There's nothing
is leave you alone.
in your suffering.
You can ask me anything you want.
I
I just did.
you by asking you if there's someone else.
Thank you.
You'll sort out whatever it is you have to sort out. We'll get back to being us.
He will not insult her with the question, but maybe he suspects, and that is why he will not ask straightforwardly. Maybe he's like, you deal with this on your own time, and then we pretend this didn't happen. I don't like such relationships, even if they're just, displayed as in a TV show. Isn't your partner supposed to be your safe place that you tell everything to? And if they don't listen, you leave them. Because that's not your partner at that point, if you can't tell them things. I mean, I guess people can choose whatever they want to experience in life. And if you want a challenge that is your partner, then you can choose that too, I guess. But, personally, I'm like, nah. I'm out of here. You don't answer my question, that's it. You have 3 business days, otherwise I'm out. Is he seeing everybody like that, or just his future victims? Wonderful. I like the blood going down. I don't like anything about this. I mean, it's visually interesting. So,
Well, he's not just killing them when he's sleeping. I mean, how's he choosing them?
I don't know. Ask him.
I'm asking you.
Well, you're the head of the behavioral science unit, Jack. Why don't you come up with your own answers if you don't like mine?
it's working though. Hannibal said a sentence, and now Will is angry at Jack. Well, Hannibal's very effective in sneaking in those subconscious layers and getting people express what they already have wanted to express. He's a troublemaker. He just wants to poke people where it hurts, where it's black, and see what happens. It's like people are trying to keep it together, and Hannibal's like, no, you cannot keep it together. Whee! Carnage. Yeah.
I did not hear that.
Yes, you did. They're backing off.
No, you didn't. Sorry.
Your therapy isn't working. Will has a horrible job.
You okay?
Nope.
Was he different?
You're a little different. But you've always been a little different.
Meet Roger and Marilyn Brunner. He likes to rape and murder. She likes to watch. We got a DNA match. They falsified the motel registry and were driving a stolen car.
So there were demons.
You know something about them. The murdered security guard wasn't actually a security guard. He was a convicted felon.
He sees them for what they are.
Tiny cell wanders off from my liver, gets lost, finds its way into my lung, where it's just trying to do its job and grow a liver.
She has cancer. She's perhaps dying soon, and she can't tell her husband. I mean, she has to tell Jack at some point. Otherwise, well, if he learns when it's already so late, they cannot even enjoy their last moments together, so... Why is Hannibal so amused by this?
So, you withdraw from your relationship with your husband. The man who strolled along the quays of Livorno, Italy, and called you Bella.
Well, it makes sense to me why she's not telling him things. She herself doesn't know what to do. It's again just sad that she can't tell him that she doesn't know what to do. I think oftentimes you bother somebody way more by not telling them what bothers you than if you would tell them, because they're still freaking out and they're creating every single scenario that's wrong with you, what could be wrong, instead of dealing with the one scenario that's actually true. But it takes time, I guess, to figure these things out. I'm sad for her, though. So this is Cancer Death episode and Demons Angels. Hi, Will. REM sleep. Can't sleep at all. Reasonable. This is a completely normal phenomenon.
It's difficult to lie still and fear going to sleep when it's there to think about. Have you determined how this angel maker is choosing his victims?
He doesn't see people how everyone else sees them. He can tell if you're naughty or nice or...
Mm-hmm.
So God has given this person insight into the souls of man.
He's just a man whose brain is playing tricks on him.
That's the thing. That's the creature. I knew we would get more insight of the creature because the creature was very personal now. So the creature was always Hannibal. I wonder what that person who sees demons would see when he looks at Hannibal. And at Will. Would Will be like half burning or something? Also, was the statue there all the time, or Hannibal added it because he knows what Will dreams of? Somehow.
You're not unlike this killer.
My brain is playing tricks on me?
Mm-hmm.
You want to feel such sweet and easy peace. The angel maker wants that same peace. You accept the impossibility of such a feeling, whereas the angel maker is still chasing it.
I've tried to reconstruct his thinking, find his patterns.
Instead, you find yourself in a behavior pattern you can't break.
Help
You
him
realize
then.
You have a choice.
What is it?
Submit to me.
you just smell me?
I really must introduce you to a finer aftershave that smells like something with a ship on the bottle.
I keep getting it for Christmas.
Hannibal. How do you act normally after you've just been sniffed by Hannibal? As Will Graham. Hannibal's getting very daring. Just coming up to people and sniffing them. Oh boy.
Have your headaches been any worse lately? More frequent?
Yes, actually.
What? Hannibal cannot contain it anymore. He's like, Will, please, I want. Give me what I want. What does he want? Will shaped to his image, I guess. He wants a Will Hannibal, I guess.
Have you heard from him since he left?
I left him
Why did you leave?
because of his cancer. It makes me sound like a horrible wife.
Nope, not everybody can take it.
I wanted to be there for him.
I couldn't.
But what he wanted was to be alone. He just kept pulling away and pulling away.
Jack knows. Oh no.
And then it didn't matter why he was acting the way he was.
A very good performance.
It was hardest on them to see him slip away. He lost himself, and they lost a father.
Jack understood it very quickly, but he doesn't understand what Hannibal is.
This will be the last one.
It's brutish.
He made himself into an angel.
How can you do it to yourself? Don't you need assistance? What?
I don't know how much longer I can be all that useful to you, Jack.
Yep,
You caught 3. The last 3 we had, you caught.
but I'm losing it.
It's getting harder and harder to make myself look.
No one's asking you to look alone.
But I am looking alone. And you know what looking at this does. I can make myself look, but the thinking is shutting down.
What is it about this one?
It isn't this one, it's all of them.
It's accumulation.
You want to go back to your lecture hall? Read about this stuff on tattlecrime.com?
No, I don't. But that may be what I have to do. This is bad for me.
Not your father, Will. Not going to tell you what you ought to do.
Keep doing this and die.
You want to quit?
Would be good for him.
Quit.
But Will is losing it. How can he keep doing this? He can't. Go to Hannibal. Talk this through.
I see what you are. What do you see?
Is this real or?
I can give you the majesty of your becoming.
Vision. He's afraid that he's also bad. What made me think that it's a vision is that I don't think Will should be burning completely. There should be less than 30% of him burning because he's a decent person. He's just, the demons are big and they're intruding upon him, but he could deal with them if he could. There was no way to make him all demonic. That's Hannibal, probably. Yeah, very probably. But Will, not so much yet, although he desires to harm someone, to kill someone, and to get the pleasure from it. That's not good. But, he could, get help, actual help, not from Hannibal, and then he would not do those things. But probably in this TV show, he will. So, poor Will. If he does, I don't know exactly how he'll get back from it. So maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what will happen. I'm very curious. Obviously, you could come back from this sort of thing, but then you still need to sit in prison, I guess. Even if you transcend that part of you after you've done the deed. This is unethical.
My wife and I need to talk. May we use your waiting room?
You can have the office, please.
Thank you.
You know,
When did you find out?
12 weeks ago.
Wow. 3 months?
Is it treatable?
Nope.
It's stage 4.
When were you gonna tell me?
Never.
That I'm really not prepared to have this conversation right now.
Neither am I, but we're having it. We're having it right now.
What do you have to lose? Death brings people together. Or it can. It can also separate. So, are you quitting? Oh, he hasn't slept. At least Jack will never yell at him. Jack has more important problems to face, to deal with.
What do you want, Will?
Something. A sandwich. Why he walks so weirdly.
You don't have to say a word until you're ready, but I'm not going anywhere until you do.
About what he observed yesterday. Will is such an odd support animal. That's it. Yeah. Quite the episode. Yeah, I was wondering before, why do they have tension, Jack and his wife, and it if you're dealing with death, I mean, you know, then everything is, then it's, you know, like hands off. You're allowed to have a crisis. Yeah, very interested about Will and the raven deer creature. And why it was in Hannibal's office, and was it there before? Has it always been there, or he placed it recently? Why did he sniff Will? You know, that thought occurred to him and then he executed it. Why does he care about smell in this episode so much? I don't think he sniffed Abigail or Bloom. He sniffed Jack's wife because Hannibal can sniff cancer. And now he sniffed Will. But I don't think Will has cancer. I mean, if cancer gives you gifts, then, and if Will has gifts, then it would make sense that he might have it. But I think if Will had cancer, then Hannibal would tell him. I think it's in Hannibal's best interest if Will lives for as long as possible. So, but why did he have the urge to sniff Will, besides whatever the hell he's up to by default? But you know, why this episode? Just checking to be sure that Will is okay, and also to sniff him because he wants to. Yeah, that was odd. Very uncharacteristic in how they've behaved so far. But Will was more or less chill about it. You know, a little bit taken aback, but not as much as I thought. None of Abigail, I like that. And none of the whatever she Louds. That I will probably get both of them next episode, I predict. Yeah. So Will is afraid that he's a demon, that he's evil. Well, we all have that in us. We all have the capacity for it. It's just whether we act it out and also whether we want to. I think it's a range. We are in the middle, and there's committing crimes, and here's being transcended. And, you know, we can choose where we go. It's up to us. And if we are sliding here, we can choose to come back from there. You know, no need to actually go there. Maybe for someone it is needed. I don't know. But yeah, things have been escalating, but I think in this episode they are escalating a slightly more. The speed has been added just a little bit. Yeah, and Hannibal is still doing nothing about Will's dreams and nightmares. So he wants him there in this state. Probably wants him to sink even further. And then what? They'll go on a killing spree together and have fun? You know, it's not that killing somebody will magically make Will in control. Also, you gain control by losing it or by being fine. That I think the less in control we need to be, the more we are willing to let it go, the more we gain it. So there's the control that is within the human vessel, and then there's the control that it's outside, and that if you are there, you can never harm ever anything. Then you sort of understand more of how things work. It's the human that is terrified of losing control and thinks that, oh, if I go mad, I'll become a monster and do these horrible things. And that's like artificially clinging to some control, some idea of it. The less I care about control, the more I gain it. But not in the sense that I control it, but I just naturally do good things. For me, for the environment, for everybody around. It's just, you know, I think in some Buddhists or some sort of enlightened masters have this right speech, right action, right state of mind, something like that. If you are there, you can't harm. There isn't even a desire for it. But that is slightly outside of the humanness of us. You know, the boundaries are blurred with something else, and then you're chill about everything, pretty much. The more you're just in this human realm, the more you freak out, and the more cost everything has, and the more terrifying everything is, and the harder to fight for control, I guess. Yeah, but I'm still learning about these things. I don't know. It's just an observation. Well, Will still didn't look at Hannibal in the way I wanted him to, so I hope that happens this season, where they just really stare at each other. But I think if Will stares at Hannibal in the way in which I want him to, then he will see what Hannibal is. So obviously they cannot do it now. They need to drag it out a bit. That would be quite trippy to see everybody who has committed crime, to see everybody's head on fire, who has done a crime, who is like evil. Yeah, I wonder if what he sees differs from somebody has done something wrong and realized what he's done, and now he's spending his entire life making up for it. Would he still punish that person? Or just those who have done something bad and want to keep doing it? And there's a huge difference. Decent episode, I liked. Yeah, I'm very concerned about Will, though. Why doesn't he sleep next to someone? Or something? He could cuddle a dog. He could cuddle Bloom or Hannibal. Just someone, I don't know, pick someone. Just say, hi, this is, hi, this is an odd request, but I need this. Can you be my cuddle buddy? Yes, okay, I have nightmares. I guess it would be slightly unethical. Would change relationships, I guess. But you know, if he had somebody, he wouldn't go insane as much. So I guess he has to be alone. I am terrified to see how Will explode, but probably will be great and terrifying. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and see